Dead Man's Switch. So this is an episode that is close to many a fan's heart. It goes a little bit back to that perspective of I guess it wouldn't be considered a small show because it's not featured so heavily on the base. And it's a lot of forest wandering, which I think you guys did pretty effectively throughout the series.
What? Forests in Stargate?
I know, right? There's always trees in this galaxy. And I love in there was an episode in I can't remember which episode it was that features an explanation. Oxygen bearing life, you're going to have trees. So it was a good acknowledgement of that. But you have a guest performance in this episode in the form of Sam J. Jones, better known as Flash Gordon. And this was Stargate's attempt, and I think success, at one of its first wild card characters, a bounty hunter, and you don't know which way he was going to go. Tell us a little bit about Dead Man Switch.
Well, I don't think it's any secret that I loved Star Wars, and then I grew up on the original movies, and I pretty much think I walked in the room and said, I wanted to create like a Han Solo type character who could be kind of a, like you said, a wild card who we could interact with and kind of not know whose side he was on, and we could use for kind of information and just fun. Like I wanted to write someone who was like that kind of 80s 90s movie one liner, fast talking rogue guy. And conceptually, originally I was really excited about the whole thing. I mean, fans seem to enjoy the episode. So
very much so. He got his own comic book. When did that Stargate comic come out here? Let me have a look here. Stargate SG-1, Erisbach. This was a 2004 issue, non-enhanced regular. Oh, that's just the specs on the comic. But yeah, this character is still brought up to this day, and fans are like, why didn't we ever see him again? Was it just a story issue? Were there just things that went on behind the scenes that were just you wanted to go in a different direction? Can you speak to that at all?
Some episodes just don't turn out quite the way you hoped.
Okay.
Some characters don't kind of pop the way you might think they would, and it just I guess when I compare, I would say compare it to other situations on the show where you can see something that really came alive. And it's really no knock against Sam or anyone who was involved in the episode. Mm-hmm. It just didn't work as well. I mean, I know fans liked it, and I'm glad they did. We just didn't feel it was as successful as it could have been. And I'll tell you that, that the DNA of that character and the sort of idea behind it, we tried again. And the next time we tried it, it was a lot more successful with Vala.
I was about to say Vala Maldoran. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, that was the next, like, are we going to try this again? And I think making it a female character, and then, Claudia Black just brought something to the role that was special. And when that happens, you're like, yeah, that's something that will be additive and bring life to the series. And, there was something wrong with Dead Man Switch. It was a fine episode, and we had other guest characters who kind of came in for one or two episodes and were very, very, very good. It just to kind of become a part of the series in a meaningful way, you kind of needed to see that real spark and something special, which you got immediately with Vala. You were like, oh my God, there's like a force of nature at work here. So
That's certainly true.
anyway, I would sort of, that's the bar that I think something needs to kind of clear in order for, in order for us to feel like it's worth pursuing.
Mm. The Devil You Know is the second part of a two-parter starting with Jolinar's Memories, which gave birth to GateWorld.net. That twist at the end. From this day forward, you will call me by my true name, Apophis. And we knew that Sokar had taken Apophis and had assumed that he tortured him and then did away with him. But Sokar had other plans, and you guys hid him so well that I remember watching on the Showtime first airing and just going, "Whoa!" I mean, it was kind of like that. It was like, this is a great twist. And at this point, you can really tell the show is clicking on its mythology. They are honoring previous viewers, and just, you guys are just rolling in it. It's great.
When we talk about the show, I will talk about the show as being, much more of an episodic series, right? The original show. And yet, when you mentioned you wanted to talk about this episode, I went back and just reread a synopsis of it so I could be a little more informed. But I was like, this is some really complicated soapy mythology. Like if you just watch that episode cold, like I'm gonna drop into a SG1 episode and just want to go to a planet, get into trouble, get out of it, and come home story. It was like, you'd be like, what is going on? Like, I don't understand anything that's happening in this episode. Like, all those payoffs were because you had lived through 5 years and 100 episodes or more of, story about Apophis and story about the team. So, the Tok'ra and
Sam's dad and Charlie and all, yeah,
and, Martouf and all that sort of stuff. So
yeah.
that was some heavy serialized stuff, and it was like we certainly didn't do that every episode, but when we did, it was very deep into the mythology, for sure.
When you have the significant two-parters and the season finales, I think it is relevant to take stock of the growth of these characters and the mythology that you have laid down. Not just mythology for mythology's sake, but how it impacted the people that we love to watch. And that's what you're doing here. And, I mean, you take The Devil, just by itself, you're right. You walk into it cold. I wouldn't dare give this to a newcomer Stargate fan. I would start them off on Window of Opportunity or Ergo.
Well, then the crazy thing is that was pitched by, it's basically the two-parter was pitched by some writers who were just not staff writers, essentially. We used to take pitches back in the day from writers who would just want to do basically being submitted to write one-off episodes.
Yes, Sonny Wareham and Daniel Stashauer did part one.
Did part one, Jolinar's Memories, and their pitch was basically, we go to a hell planet. I mean, that was the germ of the idea, and we were like, we hadn't really done that look and feel before. I don't know that we were like, we don't literally want to explore hell as a religious mythological place, but we did want to sort of take the look and feel, the fiery kind of depths underground, and also kind of deal a little bit more with you know, the sort of SG-1 is as prisoners of war, and you know, what people are willing to do to get information.
Thanks for watching this clip from Dial the Gate. If you enjoyed the video, give us a thumbs up. It's our goal to share a new Stargate story every day while we're on break. Please feel free to subscribe to future episodes here on YouTube. And if you have Stargate friends who might like this clip, let them know about us. Be sure to visit dialthegate.com to view the complete archive, as well as transcripts from past interviews. I'll see you on the other side.